Let's go for the next program, updating. Okay, now this program will help us to update a name based on roll number. Just to cite an example in order to simplify the question. Say I would like to change the name Leo to Messi. Okay, so the Leo has roll number of 1. So the program, should work out like this. You should be entering 1. Okay, and then you'll be prompted to enter the new name Messi, and Messi will replace the old name of Leo. And then, or if I cite another example, if you enter number 2, which means you want to change the name of the student with the roll number of 2, and the program will prompt you to enter the new name Neymar. Neymar will replace the Ne. So this is the question, the very question. In a program, it's so important to have a clear view or clear understanding of the programming question. So it's a good practice to be reading the question time and again. So let's start the program. I hope you have understood the question. We want to change the name through the roll number. Import pickle, and then f is equal to open, and I'm using a relative path address stu.bin. Now this time the file mode will be a combination of reading as well as writing. I need to first read to check whether there is a match. If there is a match, I then need to perform the writing operation. So the file mode could be R plus B, or you can write R plus B. It means the same thing. Okay, so R plus B, reading, writing in the binary format. So let's have this enclosed in a pair of single quote. Okay, and then let's have the record list pickle dot, the name of the function is load, and the file handle is f. Okay, so I'll just print it because I want to use this for the explanation. Print record. All right. Okay, now what else do I need? I need the roll number whose name is to be changed. So RNO equals int input enter roll number whose name is to be updated. Right? So this will make the program pretty clear. Okay, roll number, enter roll number whose name is to be updated. All right. And then what else do we need? Okay, perhaps let's make use of found also, just in case if the roll number is not found in the file. Found is equal to 0, right? So let's use the loop now for x in record. So x will pick up the first element of the record. And what is the first element of the record? It's a record of the first student. If you go a little further, what do you have in the record of a student? You have the combination of roll number and the name. Okay, now let's run the match. If x of 0 is equal to RNO, okay, if the value of x of 0, the first roll number, if it is equal to the roll number whose name is to be updated, we now need to carry out the updation process, right? So in order to make the program a little easier to understand, a little more friendly, let's print the old name so that you'll be absolutely sure, whether you would like to change that particular name or not. So old name equals x of 1. All right. Okay. So if the condition is true, I now need to replace x of 1 with the new value that will be entered by the user. How you're going to do that? You'll use the input statement. Input enter the new name. Okay, so the new name that will be entered by the user will be assigned to x of 1. The earlier value of x of 1 will be the old name. Now that will be replaced by the new name, but it's not completely replaced just as yet. We need to use the dump method of pickle module. So just hang on. Okay, and then found is equal to 1. That's it, I guess. And then come out of the program. Okay, if the condition is true, the loop will go for the next cycle. If it's not found, again it will go for the next cycle. Okay, and then we'll have the break statement, just in case if there is a match. There is no need of moving on with the loop. Just come out of the program. It will save the execution speed. Okay, and then now let's say if the value of found is equal to 1. What do you mean by this? If the value of found is equal to 1, which means the updation process has been a success, which means the roll number whose name is to be updated has been changed temporarily. Okay, now it's time to do it on a permanent basis. If the value of found is equal to 1, then if we have to write this statement, f dot seek 0. So what does this do is, as and when you are in the middle of the for loop, or be it at the end, the pointer may have been at any place. It could be somewhere in the middle, it could be at the second last, it could be at the last. So in the process, we have made the temporary change. But if you want to write the data on a permanent basis, we need to get the pointer, we need to get the file pointer back to the starting place, and then carry out the dump, the process. Otherwise what happens is, if not for this, let's say if I do not write this, and then straight away get on with the pickle dot dump, and then followed by record and the file object of f. If I do this, the problem is the file pointer could be in the middle. Okay, and then if you decide to execute this from the current location of the file pointer, and then thereafter there will be the dumping process. The earlier modification will not be a part of dumping process. Okay, so we need to make sure that we get the file pointer back to the starting position, so that whatever changes follows will be permanently stored into the file. Hence, it's so important that we need to get this up here, f.seek, and then right here 0. And then finally I'll just come out of the if block, and then I'll have a message which says like the record updated. Okay, record updated, and then finally I'll close the f dot close. So let's run the program, and then I'll provide you further explanation. Let's say I run this. I hope the program runs. Okay, I'll just reduce the space. Okay, enter roll number whose name is to be updated. Let's say roll number 1. I press enter. As you can see, the old name is Leo. Just a reminder for you to be absolutely sure that you certainly want to change that particular name. And then I replace Leo with Messi. Press enter. It says record updated. How do you check? If you go back and try to check, you won't be able to understand a thing because it's in a binary format. So let's use the program number 2. Program number 2, and then run this. Let's say I enter 1 here. The answer that I should get is Messi, not Leo. So as rightly seen, I get the updated name of the name of the first roll number, which is Messi. So coming back to the updating, the process, I was telling you something about the importance of this. I was a little, unsatisfied with the explanation of this. Let's do this real quick again. Let's say I enter roll number 1 because I want to change Leo to Messi, right? So the value of RNO is 1. X will pick up the first element, okay, this element as a whole, and then the next statement says x of 0 means 1. X of 0 is equal to the roll number whose name is to be updated, which is again 1. The condition evaluates to true. All right, and then what happens here is the old name will be printed and the new name will be entered, right? So what happened to the process is the file pointer will be after the first element. It'll be right here. So the temporary change that I've made is on the left side of the file pointer, or in other words, the temporary change of Leo to Messi is before the location of the file pointer. So if I do not have this, and if I straight away execute this, the dumping will take place starting from this location, which means the Leo will not be changed to Messi. So with the help of this particular statement, the file pointer which was here will be set back to the starting position, and then dumping process will take place starting from this particular location, which means the temporary change of Leo to Messi will now take place on a permanent basis with the help of the dump method. So you could actually try the program without this and then see for yourself whether the name gets updated. Certainly, it will not get updated. So this is a must. So this is a program with which you could update any name. Let's run the program again for another name. Let's say I would like to change name to Neymar. So the roll number that is to be entered is 2. Press enter. The old name is Ney. I would like to change name to Neymar. Press enter. Record seems to be updated. Let's take the help of the second program to check whether the name has been indeed updated or not. Number 2, it says Neymar. Often what happens is the program runs absolutely correct for the first attempt, but it fails at the second attempt. So your program should work for all the combination of the input. Now let's go to the third program. Okay, this is program number 5, right? The program number 5 is deletion. Let's make some spaces. Okay. Now this time I would like to delete a record. Again, based on a roll number. Let's say if I want to delete Neymar, I need to enter the roll number of 2. Just like how things work in real life application, let's say students management system, softwares which are used in schools and institute. How do you delete a record? Let's say a student leaves. So everything, happens through the roll number. So the moment you enter roll number, you get to see the entire record. If you want to get rid of a certain, record, again, it has to be done through the roll number. So in deletion, so again, it all starts with import. The name of the module is pickle. All right. And then f is equal to open. The name of the file is 2.bin followed by, now again, deletion will have the operation, in terms of reading as well as writing. I need to first read the record and check whether there is a match with the roll number. If there is a match, I should not be copying. I should not be considering. There's something similar to the earlier program, but this is far simpler than the earlier set. Okay, so R plus B, this is going to be the file mode. And then let's read the entire content of stu.bin. Record equals f dot load followed by, sorry, this will be pickle. All right, what's happening with me? Okay, and then I'll just print record. Just use this for the explanation. All right, now this time I'll have to take the help of another record. The logic is going to be like this. I'll be using the list called record, and then I'll be using another list by the name of new record, and then I'll be picking up the first element of record, and then I'll be appending it to the new record. Okay, pick up the second element of record and then append it to the new record. Just go on and on. Okay, pick up the first element of record, which is 1 Leo, and then have it appended to the new record. Pick up the second, have it appended to the new record. But the question is, the one which is to be deleted, should not be appended. The roll number that the user enters, whose record is meant to be deleted, that should not be added or appended to the new record. So it's often a good idea to get the logic first, recall the logic first, and then get on with the program. So let's have another empty list by the name of new record. Okay, and then say found is equal to 0. Okay, the next statement will be, let's prompt the user to enter the roll number whose record is to be deleted. So RNO equals int enter roll number whose record is to be deleted. All right, let's get on with the loop. For x in record. Okay, let's run the match. If x of 0 is equal to R and O, if I'll just write here, I'll just write here continue. Okay, if there is a match, I'll get on with the next loop. And then, however, if the condition becomes false, then what I do is I write new record, okay, dot, and then I have here append, and then followed by x. Now, does this make sense to you? If there is a match, I continue, I get on with the next loop. If there is no match, the first element will be appended to the new record. Right? Okay? And then what happens is, that's it, I guess, new record dot append, right? And then okay, so the next statement will be f dot seek 0. So again, whatever changes that have been made along with the flow of the program, but before you dump or before you update the information on a permanent basis, like I said in the earlier program, you need to get the file pointer back to the beginning of the file. So get it back, and then let's run the pickle module with the function of pickle.dump, and then it's going to be new record. The file object will be f. All right, and finally we'll just close this, f.close. So okay, so let's run the program and check whether the program runs correctly. Okay, let's run the program. What happened? Okay, everything looks fine. Okay, let's run the program. Okay, I've made a mistake here. Where is it? It has to be input. Okay, let's rerun the program and check whether the program runs correctly or not. Okay, I would like to delete Neymar number 2. Press enter. Enter roll number whose record is to be deleted, right? So let's go and check whether the roll number 2's record has been indeed deleted or not. So is this the program? Right. So we'll just run the program. Run it. Roll number 2. Roll number 2 is not found in the list, which means it's been deleted, right? However, let's check whether the roll number 1 is there or not. It's there, very much intact. And then let's check the roll number 3. It's very much intact. So the roll number 2 has been deleted. So let's try to understand the logic behind this program. Okay, to start with, I took the help of another empty list by the name of new record. Okay, so and then I get on. Let's say for the example, I took roll number 2 whose record is to be deleted. So I enter 2. 2 will be assigned to R and O, and then the value of X. The first value of X will be 1 Messi, right? The first value of X will be 1 Messi. X of 0 will be 1. Roll number to be deleted is 2. Okay, so which means the condition becomes false. 1 is equal to 2. Is the condition true? No, the condition is false. If the condition is false, what happens is X, the value of X, which is 1 comma Messi, will be added or will be appended to another list, another empty list by the name of new record. So the new record will now have the first element of record, which is 1 Messi. Since there was no match, the first element will be copied from record to new record. Let's go for the next loop. The value of X this time will be 2 Neymar. The value of X, if you try to print it, you will get 2 Neymar, right? So X of 0 is now 2. The roll number whose record is to be deleted is again 2. Now this time, unlike the earlier, unlike the first, the element, now this time there is a match. The X of 0 is 2. The value of roll number is again 2. If there is a match, the continue statement will be executed. The significance of this continue is it will skip the remaining statements till the end of the loop. Now this is the end of the loop. Okay, this is the end of the loop. So how many statements do we have until the end of the loop? There is just one statement. So regardless of any number of statements till the end of the loop, all the remaining statements will be skipped or will be ignored, and then it will cause the loop to resume. It will cause the next value of loop variable to resume. Alright, so since now this time the condition was true, the continue will force the control to go for the next loop. So which means the next value of X will now be 3 comma Frankie. So since the continue took us here, this will not be executed. Since the continue statement has been executed, it will prevent us from getting this particular statement executed, as a result of which the value of X, which was 2 comma Neymar, will now not be added to new record. If it's not added, it's not a part of the new record. So in the new record, do you have 2 comma Neymar, 2 Neymar? The answer is no. So it appears to be deleted. So likewise, it will go for the next record. this time, the value of x will be 3 comma Frankie. 3 is equal to 2. The condition is false. If the condition is false, there is no match. X, which contains 3 comma Frankie, will be appended to the new record. In new record, we have 1 comma Messi, 2 comma Neymar wasn't added, and then finally 3 comma Frankie will be added. So the new record, at the end of the for loop, the values that you're going to find in new record will be 1 comma Messi and 3 comma Frankie. So till this point, you just have the new elements, prepared or added temporarily or stored in new record list, but it's not yet permanently written into the file. So you got to understand this. So, and then get on with the next statement, f.seek 0. As a result of for x in record, the file pointer has been moved down the file. It's been moved from the first element to the second element to the third element. So at the end of all three loops, the file pointer would be pointing at the end of the file. So from there on, if you carry out the dumping process, regardless of any changes, nothing is going to happen, right? So you need to come back. You need to get the file pointer back to the starting location with the help of f.seek 0. This statement is very, very important. This time, pickle.dump. So I'm running this function, dump, and I am dumping not the old record. The record, has all three names, starting from 1 Messi, 2 Ney, and then 3 Frankie, right? But this time I need to dump the new record. In the new record, 2 Neymar appears to be deleted. In fact, it's not a part of new record. So the new record has to be dumped into the stu.bin through the file handle of f using the dump method. Okay, so the file pointer, since it is at the start, it will now carry out the dumping process right from the starting location of the file, but with the content of not the record list, but the content of the new record list, in which we have the first element and the third element. And then finally, when you check the content of the stu.bin, when you try to display the record of row number 2, it fails. Okay, so this is how you write a program which will help us to delete a record based on a roll number. So I'll not be starting with the next segment of the chapter, which is CSV, separated value. So now before I wind up the lesson, I would like to have a quick recall of all the video lessons that were covered till date, so that you will have a fair idea of what all topics and subtopics we have covered till today. Basically the chapter as a whole till date could be broken into two parts rather. The first one is the text file and the second one is binary file. In the text file, we have the reading operation, the writing operation, 3 of the reading functions like read, read line, read lines, and then on the writing operation we have the write and then we have the write lines. So that is going to be the first big part of the chapter, dealing with text files, handling text files. Now the second part could be categorized as the binary file, right? So under binary file, we have 2 categories. The first category again has all the operations like reading, writing, searching, updating, and then you have the deletion, right? But that was actually carried out without the help of pickle module. It was all to do with the normal variables like, the string, the numbers, the data, that we either read or write were basically nothing but the numbers or the string. All right. And then hence, we have used a uniform size for the individual the name or the individual data. I hope you remember. So that's going to be the first part of the binary category. All right. And then that was without the usage of pickle module. And then the second part of the binary category are again the number of programs like reading, writing, and then searching, updating, and then you have the deletion. Now this time, we have made use of the pickle module. So again, both the categories, subcategories are nothing but, but dealing with, the binary files. But the difference is on this side, it's without pickle module, which means, we are only able to write the ordinary or the normal variables like, the text and the numbers, right? But on this side, the second, the subcategory again was to do with the binary files, but this time we had made use of the pickle module. With pickle module, we could actually write, the variables or the data type like list and dictionary. Okay, so this, is the whole picture of the topics and the subtopics covered till date. So in the next class, I would like to touch upon the last segment, which is going to be CSV. So with this, I would like to draw an end. I sincerely hope that you must have understood the lesson well. And then as usual, the most important thing is to start with, to understand the program to perfection, and then more importantly, you need to get on with the system. So that will, boost your confidence, in your programming skill. So with this, I would like to stop. Thank you very much.